Hi guys. Well, I can't say I traumatized, but my chins just both had a bath, and I'm very happy to announce that Nala actually took a bath. She actually rolled in the sand on her own volition. The last time I had to sprinkle the sand on her, rub it into her fur, But actually, the most, I guess, worthy of mentioning was Speedo. You know, the first time I traumatized Speedo when I first got him, 2 or 3 days after I got him, I grabbed him with a towel. I put it right over him like a net, and I grabbed him. I rolled him up like a bundle, and I took him to the bathroom, right? And he did take a sand bath the first time, but he was not impressed. And then I think I traumatized him again by putting the towel over him again, and then bringing him back to this cage. And then ever since, he's almost always barked at me until just recently. Now I decided to test my luck because he just finished up barking at me 2 days ago. But he actually went in the bin on his own. What I did, because I don't want sand dust in my room. Okay, I'm a very clean person, and I really can't stand the fine layer of dust all over everything. And if you guys have chins, you know they make dust clouds when they roll in the sand. So what I did was I had the half bin, the Rubbermaid bins, the ones that look like those, but they're half of the size of these. They're 65 liters. So I had about this much sand in it, approximately one whole container, half and half of blue sparkle and chinchilla sand. And I poured it all in. And what I did this time, I shook it, and Speedo actually understood. I guess he recognized the sound, but he didn't want to go in. So what I did was I took a little dab of it off on my finger. I just played with it in my hand, and then I just quickly just touched his nose with it so he wouldn't bite me. I wouldn't hold it up to his nose. I'm still afraid that if I hold my hand like firmly and not move, I think they'll bite it, and I'm not quite sure how much a nibble hurts yet. I haven't been nibbled by them yet. I think trust has to go both ways, but I don't quite trust them enough to put my hand there just yet, because I don't know how much they like me yet. For the most part, I can say they're very docile, but based on the fact that I had to grab them out of the bin to take them back to my room here. But what I did was I took it and I dabbed it on his nose, and the next thing you know, he just hopped right in. And I quickly closed the bin, and I was so stupid. I turned around with the bin, and I almost forgot and left the doors wide open. And Nala's already checking out the view, and so I quickly closed the door because I wasn't sure I could get Nala in before Speedo started rolling, or vice versa, whatever, and he might jump out or something, or jump out of the cage. Then I'd have two escaped chins. So I took Speedo into the shower stall, closed the door. He rolled around in it, and then when he was totally ready to escape, I put him back in the towel and I brought him back here. He didn't bark at me, and he still lets me pet him. So I guess I didn't traumatize him. He's slowly maybe figuring out that it's all good. The towel is a good thing. Just don't run from it. But I guess the Nala actually made it so hard to get her. I actually had to take the house and the bridge out just to get her. Well, because I didn't want to scare her, right? So I would put the towel here, and she would go over there. I put the towel here, and she'd go over there. And so I finally, and then she would jump too, and she's very fluid, and and I don't want to squeeze too hard when I get the towel around her too. And plus, I don't want the towel around her and then just gently hold her and then have her jump out of my hand, especially midway to the, like on the way to the bathroom. So I eventually took away all the houses, and then she was on the top ramp, and I just grabbed her very gently. And then I kind of wrapped half her ear and half her face so that only half of her face was exposed so she wouldn't jump out. Got her into the bathroom. Held her there for a little while in the tub, just with the lid on it. So there's no way she could jump out. And she sat there for a while, almost like protest. She was looking at me, standing on her hind legs, checking out how to get out. And then all of a sudden she just sniffed. She sniffed the sand by accident, and she wiped her nose. And then next thing you know, she just sniffed it again, and then she just put her nose to one side and then just did a roll. And then she shook her fur out, and she stood there again on her hind legs. And then she did it again and again and again. And then after a while, she just stood there, and I guess she was done. So she did about 4 rolls. It's not bad. I mean, I think Speedo enjoys the sand more. Or maybe Nala didn't need it. Mind you, she just got to the pet store, so, 2 weeks ago. So it's probably possible that she didn't need a sand bath very much, so she didn't want it. But I don't know. She's sleeping. That's Nala right there, actually. And Speedo's right here. And look at Speedo's exhausted. It must have been so traumatizing to take them to the sand bath. But everybody got a sand bath. I'm really happy. Nala is missing some fur on her nose, and it's reddish. Just on the one side though, in the very bottom of her nose, underneath side, the bottom side, so like the bottom side of her nose. So this is her nose, it's right like under there. So you can't see unless she's looking at you with her chin up. I'm hoping the sand bath will cure it. If not, then I might take her to a vet. Seriously, because I mean the thing is, so her fur has stopped disappearing too. Originally, I noticed it was just a little bit, maybe I'm gonna say human wise. You're looking at it, maybe 30 strands worth, like size wise. Next thing you know, it's about 40, 50, but then it stopped. So it's not a very big area. It's about as thick as this area on this bar, and it's very tiny. But I'm just questioning why. The only thing I can think of that might have caused it, but I'm not sure because I don't recall exactly where she touched her nose on it. But I had been cleaning these grids because one day they peed, and I found one drip on my floor. So I cleaned it, and I cleaned the rail, and then I cleaned here, and I just kind of brushed up and down with the Lysol wipe, and there was some bubbles, foam bubbles stuck on the grid. I haven't wiped it down yet, and she came and she licked it. She's fine, but I'm just thinking with the Lysol wipe stuff, it was a citrus one. I was just wondering if that could have caused her hair loss. That's why it's not, because I'm thinking it's not fungus, or the ringworms, because it stopped. It's just that tiny patch, and it was approximately the same area as her putting her nose in the grid, which is why I'm thinking it might have to do with that. But I'm going to keep watching her. There's no health guarantee at the store I buy her from. But for the most part, her animals are healthy. Socialized is more than PetSmart too. And the primary reason is because where they get their pets from, they sell them so fast. There is no unsocializing them. They don't sit in a cage mostly all day and rot. Like PetSmart, their animals are pretty old at PetSmart. They tell you that they're a few months old, but if you really make them answer you, the only thing they'll tell you is it's less than 1 year old. Now, don't ask me why they would say that, but every last time I've ever asked them about an animal, the only bottom line they'll tell you is it's under 1 year old. I don't know if that's true, but their estimates are always really off. They told me about a guinea pig that's 4 months old, and I can tell you that when I got it home, it was probably around 5 to 6 months old, at least, or 7 even, because it was big by like about half an orange, like this big, bigger than the other guinea pig. And my guinea pig, according to them, would be the same age as the one they're estimating. So they either don't know what they're doing or they're estimating low. So that's one of the things I noticed, but there's no guarantee on this store, which is the downside. I mean, PetSmart has a health guarantee. But if I had to choose, I would definitely buy it with Pet Habitat. Just because they carry the youngest of any animal. They're the ones that are willing to sell it to you. All the other stores seem to get their animals pretty late. Like, they're much older than you would ideally wean them. So, like, it makes you wonder where were they the whole time, But anyway, my room kind of smells like the dust, just a little bit, probably because they had it on their fur. I didn't let them shake out their fur while they were in the bin. I should have done that in the shower stall, but I didn't. So they actually shook out their fur here. So it smells a little bit, very faint, but I can live with a little bit of dust. It's just I don't want it coated. I don't want a coated cage of, that's kind of gross. You should see my bathroom. It takes forever to just hose it all down because it keeps getting stuck around the drain, the powder. It takes actually quite a while to clean it up. This time I put a towel over the drain, so I'm hoping, and then I spritzed the towel and then I wiped it down. Hopefully it will help clean it up a little bit, but it's probably going to clog the machine now. I don't know which is worse. If I can in the summer, I might just take them outside, but I'm worried about them escaping. That would be the best place to give them a sand bath, is outside, like on the porch or something. But yeah, I guess owning a chin, one of the things I have to learn to get used to is the dust, the sand baths, the mess. But I love them.